With this video, I want to show you another method of creating a point. In the previous video related to, just showing you the basics of the line command, we talked about picking points. One thing I want to stress is that, and I'm going to go up here and grab the line command, and I'm just going to pick a point and pick another point. That's the only way we know how to create points right now. I want to show you that the way to end the line command is to hit the enter key. Enter gets you out of the line command and gets you back to a blank command prompt waiting for the next command. You can hit the escape key to end the line command, but that's a bad habit to get into. The escape key works on occasion, but most of the time it's going to actually cancel the command and anything that you've done within the command. So most commands are going to will either complete themselves automatically, like if I grab my circle command and pick a point and pick a line that represents the length of the radius, that ends the command automatically. Most commands you're going to want to end by hitting the enter key. I'm going to go ahead and quickly show you the erase command. There's not much to it. Erase prompts me to select objects. I'm going to put the cursor on something, kind of nicely highlights what it is that you've selected. And once I've picked those two things, I end the enter command, I end the erase command by hitting the enter key. If I were to have hit the escape key right then, I would have just canceled out of it and the circle and the line would have stayed on the screen. So always end the line command by hitting the enter key. All right, so now what I want to do is move on to another point creation technique. What you want to realize is that very often you're creating a relationship between two different points. With the line command, if I pick a point and then it's prompting me for the next point, I have a number of different ways of creating that second point with the first point in mind, so to speak. What I want you to understand is that very often we have to draw horizontal and or vertical lines. And if I just move close to horizontal, it's going to eventually kind of lock in horizontally. Okay, that's happening because my polar tracking tool, I'm going to kind of move away from here, my polar tracking tool right down here is turned on. And it's locked into 0 degrees, and if I move around you can see nothing else is locking in until I get to 90 degrees, and that's locking in again. I'm going to hit the escape key to cancel out of here and just go down here and examine the polar tracking settings. I mean, it can be on or off, but if it's on, I can adjust the settings for that polar tracking tool. If I hit the little down arrow here, options show up. You can see that right now it's locking in every 90 degrees, and meaning it's locking in at 90, 180, 270, 360. 360 and 0 being the same degrees. What I want you also to understand, and I'm going to leave it like that for right now. What I also want you to understand is that 0 degrees is always towards 3 o'clock. So if I'm going to draw here, a line from here, and I go in this direction, you can see that it's saying polar 2.0328 at an angle of 0 degrees. 0 is always towards the east or always towards 3 o'clock, however you choose to think of it. And then the degrees kind of go in relationship to that. If I go upwards, it's going to be 90 degrees up. If I move downwards, it's going to be 90 degrees down. Now, it used to be that would have said negative 90 degrees, but nowadays it just says 90 degrees. Angles are typically measured counterclockwise, but when we're doing polar tracking, it does kind of just go in reference to 0, up or down, whichever way we go. Now, how can I use this to my advantage? If I kind of drag it or I get it locked in horizontally, you can see that the length of the line, or the distance to the next point, is being shown to me. If I type in a 3 and hit enter, it's locked in. I'm going to hit enter again to be done with that. and that's locked in at 0 degrees, and it's exactly 3 units long. Major key with working with AutoCAD is that nothing is approximate, everything is exact. Um, yeah, everything is exact. So we want to just type in our numbers to be absolutely sure. I don't want to do this, okay? Let's say I want to draw a line at 45 degrees, okay? I don't kind of go up here until that says, see how it says 45 degrees right now? We can't be sure of that. Our eyeballs cannot guarantee 45 degrees. I'm at 2.6008. It's also not 2.6008. It's somewhere close to that, rounded off to 4 decimal places. We have control over the type of units and the precision of the units for linear measurement and for angular measurement. And I'm going to show you that in a second. If we wanted to lock that in at 45 degrees, I can type in a 3. Let's go with 3 again just to be consistent. 3, and then instead of hitting enter, if I hit the tab key, I can go to the next box, which in this case is the angular measurement, and then I can type in 45. When I type in 45, it's perfectly 45, and I hit enter, and that ends that point creation, and then I can hit enter to end the line command. And now that line is exactly 3 units long and is exactly at 45 degrees. Back in the old manual drafting days, we used to use T-squares and triangles. We used to use a 30-60 degree triangle and a 45 degree triangle, and kind of stacking those in various combinations. We could lock ourselves in angularly to every 15 degrees. If I go down here and adjust my polar tracking angles to be every 15 degrees, now when I draw a command, when I grab my line command and draw a line, I can drag out this way, and I'm at 0 degrees, and we'll just go 2 this time. And then if I drag up, you can see that now I'm going to lock in every 15 degrees, 30, 45. So if I wanted to go 15 degrees, let's just go 1.5 at 15. There, we've got it. So you can lock in angularly perfect without having to type that value in. What we're doing is directly entering the distance off the keyboard, but the polar tracking is allowing us to lock in an angle exactly. If we need some odd angle, we type in the distance that we want to go to the next point, and then we hit the tab key to get into the angular portion of the dynamic interface or the dynamic input, and type in the exact number of degrees if it doesn't lock or go in with our polar tracking. And I'll leave that at that.